and I are so excited because today, this is the excited dance. Ooh, ooh, Oh my gosh. And Rebecca's dancing with us. Yes, ma'am. Today,
if there's a beat,
if there's a beat, I'm going to attempt to dance to it.
Thank you for finishing my sentence.
Of course. We have Rebecca Iriarte, a good friend of mine. We were in Leadership Denver 2017. Best year ever.
#rowdiest.
That's right. And she was most recently the managing director of development for City Year Denver. And so we are really excited to have her on the show today.
Yay! Crowd goes wild.
Thank you for having me. I've seen all of your videos all the time. And secretly, my prayers at night are like, please let me get the email. And it came true. So thank you.
It is our pleasure. We're so glad you're here.
Yep.
So we would love, as someone who has had leadership roles, etc., we love to chat with leaders on our show about all things leadership and all things just really human.
Yeah.
So one of the things we'd love to hear from you is, your background and a little bit more about kind of the things that you love to do as a leader.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my name is Rebecca. I love that you're very interested in this. So I am a sales professional with experience in the hospitality world as well as the nonprofit world. And I love that those are two very different things, but they've collided. In the hotel world, I worked in multiple parts of the States. I even worked internationally, and I worked with multiple different hotel types. So I was with large convention hotels, large airport properties, resorts, extended stay, select size. My fun facts for hotels is that I've worked in every single department of a large downtown convention hotel. So I've had the opportunity to wet vac the rooftop of the Hyatt Regency New Orleans. And then I got to have my hands turn purple because I had to dice cases and cases of eggplant. And the kitchen did not.
That is a fun fact.
Yeah, it's a fun fact.
It's a great fact. I love it though, because really that lessons have come on through, I've used them throughout my entire tenure, wherever I have been, because what it taught me is that every department is so important for the entire organization to work well and to achieve their goals. And for me to have had that opportunity to be able to be in the kitchen, to get kicked out by the housekeepers because they are amazing and I cannot clean a room as fast as they can, taught me communication, teamwork, and understanding and perspective. And I think that's incredibly important that I've brought to every organization I've joined and I've been a part of. So I bring that with me. I'm also totally bring a lot of fun. Everyone's in the office. Work hard, play hard. And if I'm with you, my last job, I handed off my 30-second dance button to my boss because he was the only one that really enjoyed it. It was great. I don't know if you ever saw those ads. It's literally 30 seconds. I believe it's German techno music it plays, and then it just stops. It starts and it just stops.
Oh my gosh.
And you did that 32 times? Is that what you gave him a button that said you did this 32 times?
No, 30 seconds.
No, it's a 30-second dance button.
Yeah, so it's
he
like
was only the one other person that enjoyed pushing the button. So when I left,
oh my gosh, I love that. I think we need. I think we might need one of those.
That sounds amazing. I was thinking
it's amazing.
Like a button, like you put on.
Like at TGI Fridays.
It's like a button that you put on your desk, and you hit it. It's like the Family Feud button.
Got it.
You hit it.
Got it. I am there now.
You dance for 30 seconds.
Yes.
And then it stops and everyone just sits down and does the rest of their work. It's amazing.
Can I just say for the record how much I absolutely need that in my life? Although I do it with
everyone really does.
Yeah, no. I got to be honest, that happens naturally with you, Gail. This is
I'm a mover.
She does.
Great. You don't need a button. No.
Stop it. He's so mean.
On your own.
Yeah.
One of the things that you just said that I really appreciated was perspective. And as a leader, I think, I don't think as a leader you have to have done or been in all of the roles that maybe report to you or roll up to you. or even, peripheral to you. However, it is a really important thing to have that perspective, which of course to me ties kind of right into empathy and awareness and curiosity. Every role that you've had, how have you gained perspective if you haven't necessarily done the thing that the other person has done? What is something that you would do as a leader to try to step into their shoes and gain more perspective about what they do?
Yeah, a couple different things. One, when I was within the hotel world, I had a great piece of advice when I was getting to be my first director of sales role. And my then director of sales pulled me aside and he said, "Hey, look, this is going to be hard for you, but shut up for 30 days. And I was like, what? Because Gail, I'm a talker. But his point was really important. He's like, look, the building was there. The hotel was running before you got there. Be quiet for 30 days. Like, just jump in and become a part of that hotel. Talk to the employees, talk to the different departments, get their understanding of what's going great, get their understanding of what do they wish would improve. Like, can you help them? Perhaps. Maybe their wish is not something you can do, but it's that getting that perspective and that understanding of as many folks as you can, whether it's a big hotel or a little hotel. You may not be able to speak with everyone, but if you can walk around and get an understanding of that hotel, that organization, what is important at that site, what are they struggling with, you can like sit down after those 30 days, look at your notes, and then have a stronger conversation of like, hey, I had this opportunity and this is what I'm finding. I'm wondering if we could have a conversation of what your thoughts are on where could we tackle first. Like what, bring to the table, obviously, ideas. Never go to the table with a complaint without a suggestion, but be able to have that stronger conversation because you come to the table with that understanding of the people around you that have been living in it longer than you have. So you're not just coming in and going like, here I am, let's get the party started.
That's good. I would love to see that though. Like, here I am.
I walk into my new gig.
Hey, what's up?
Here I am, peeps.
I can
and
appreciate.
Like, and there you go.
And
yeah, that's
there
right.
you go.
And thank you. I can appreciate.
And scene.
Yes. I can appreciate the fact I've been on the sides both times of the leader that comes in day one and is like, I'm going to change everything. I know that everything's broken. I know what to do. And it's a horrible experience for 6 months, and often by the end of that 6 months, that leader's either gone or they've had to step back and learn what everything that is actually going on before they make changes, right? So that's the one. The other is, I always took the model when I would go into new organizations is I've got 90 days. I've got a 90-day grace period. One, to learn a bunch of stuff, to make subtle changes, small changes if they seem like they need to be changed soon, things that might have an immediate impact, you after 30 days. But really, it's that 90-day runway that you finally go, okay, now that I've talked to people, now that I've created relationships, now that I understand perspectives, now is the chance that I can begin to make changes without a detrimental impact to an organization.
Right. And there's always those little fire drills that you have to attend to. You're 2 weeks in and they're like, what are we going to do? You've got to make a decision. Of course, you don't say, I've got 3 more weeks. Hold on. I'm still taking notes. So 30 days of observation. Obviously there are those things that you need to put out right then and there. But I think to be successful and just start gaining folks' trust, they can be like, they could have loved their past, whoever it was, or they could have had a challenge with them and they're skeptical of you. Yep. You don't know exactly what you're walking in because interviews don't always, tell you the truth of the organization. I've had some fun surprises.
Well, I'm curious to know, you mentioned sales, you could have been, a large part of your career has been sales. And even in your last role as managing director of City Year Denver for development, that's still a sales job, right? You're still
Totally.
selling. What is the
Yeah.
secret sauce to sales? What are the things that you do that really work? EF Hutton.
It's always the simple things that are yet so hard.
Ooh.
Communication, understanding, listening, and creating relationships, creating long-standing relationships.
Yeah.
It's the things that are so simple to say and so easy to do, yet so hard to execute and remember. So it's really kind of the basics of making sure that it's client relationships, donor relationships, understanding why that donor is really involved with City Year Denver. What is it? Because City Year Denver is an amazing organization. It's an educational organization, a national organization. We're one of 29 sites within the U.S. But the City Year had a double bottom line, whereas they work with AmeriCorps members, young adults, but also working with students. So what is important to that donor? Do they really care for the AmeriCorps members and want to make sure that after they give their year of service, they're helping them to go into that next step? Or are they really passionate about education and making sure that the students in our Denver public schools are getting the tools that they need to be successful? You really need to understand your donor so you can, ask for the right thing and also ask at the right time, because obviously, well, maybe not obviously, there are some folks that you meet and there's some salespeople, they'll be like, hey, I just met Gail and Bruce. Would you like to give $10,000 to our organization? Because you're talking to me, so you must really like my organization. How's that work? Can we get a check from you? And you're like, bye, I'm out of here.
No. Although most people are like, oh, Gail and Bruce? Here's lots and lots of money. Just give it away.
Yeah, here you go.
Have you
fill in
met?
the blank.
But
it's knowing your donors and knowing your clients.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. So our whole business is about building better business relationships, right? And there's some great factoids that have come out recently through Gallup polls, and I think two very surprising ones for us were 91% of decisions for buyers are made based on emotion. Mm-hmm. And that is tied directly to those relationships. And yet 71% of people do not trust those businesses and their contacts within those businesses. And so trust is huge, right? And it speaks exactly to what you were saying, listening, deepening that relationship, just having a sensitivity to timing and what is it that is connecting them, especially when it comes to nonprofit, for sure. The hotel industry, in my mind, isn't a lot different, because when you are creating an experience for someone, there's a similarity in the execution of that and someone's ability to have a good experience. Group sales, for example, we have a friend who did that for years with Marriott, and same kind of thing. It's like, look, you've planned events, Rebecca, and when you're planning something like that, my gosh, you just want someone else to take that load off. You want to trust them enough to know that's going to go off without a hitch, or if that's, if something pops up and changes, which inevitably it always does, that you've got their back and you're going to come through for them, and that you're going to, support them in the best way that you can.
That's right.
And so when you kind of think about those experiences with like clients and connections, what have you seen in the past that has been really missing in those soft skills in teams within both profit and nonprofit? What do you think is kind of some kind of secret skill or some skill that people need to really start
boning up on?
Yeah, working up.
Yeah. I've seen soft skills being the highlight and the topic that so many people talk of. I think you and I probably on LinkedIn, all of these, how important they shouldn't be called soft skills anymore, because they really are important. Agreed, exactly. And I think really another easy one is follow through with what you say you're going to do. Practice what you preach. If you're going to tell somebody you're going to get back to them tomorrow, get back to them tomorrow. If you don't have their answer, that's okay. Maybe say, hey, I said I'd get back to you, but I am still researching this for you. Can you please give me some more time? I see that it is sometimes goes through, but there's sometimes not that full 100% execution.
Yeah.
I went and spoke. I was doing a job interview with an organization, and for maybe a quarter of our interview in person, diversity was discussed. How important diversity is, which is fantastic. I love that conversation. But while you're speaking with me about diversity, and I'm one of 12 people in the room, there is only one other person besides me of color in that room. So, how important is diversity, even though we're talking about it a lot? I found that interesting. Or
Yeah.
even communication. If you are amazing with your communication 90% of the time, and then you just drop that ball at the end, which could have been the most important time where that donor was going to write the check, or the person was going to sign the contract for the hotel, you've just killed what you worked so hard for. So I really think it's following through and being true to your word.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so
Especially in
too.
sales.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think there's I tell it wrong. I think I'm turning into my dad in my old age where I get all the jokes and the sayings wrong. But there's a joke in Hotel where, this gentleman goes on a hotel tour and the salesperson takes him, and it is, amazing and it's gorgeous. And can I do this for my meeting? Yes, you can totally do this for your meeting. And great, I'll sign the contract. Signs the contract, gives the contract to the convention service person who plans the details. The gentleman goes again to the hotel, and it's run down and it looks like hell and it's horrible. And the guy goes, what happened to, and it was something, oh, you met with the sales manager. They promised you the dream. Here's the reality.
Yeah.
Joke, not joke, because there are some people that do that because they want to get the business. So they'll say yes to everything.
Mhm.
And really, to be smart and true to yourself and true to your donors and clients, sometimes you have to say no and walk away, but walk away well.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that you've hit the nail on the head with the whole be consistent piece. The word trust is an interesting word. We talk a lot about it with our clients because everyone's like, well, how do you trust someone?
Mm-hmm.
Or how do you build trust? The way you build trust is you are consistent. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show up for a meeting at 3, I'm there at 2:58 or 55.
Yep.
And, I'm going to get back to you by this date. I do. I'm going to email you those figures. I do. As soon as you don't, it's like you take liquid out of the trust bucket, and you have to give a certain level of trust to begin with. And it's kind of like your minimum, gift, a deposit of trust. And then it's earned over time with consistent behavior. I think, there's nothing more frustrating to me when you brought it up. It actually reminded me of when we travel and you have a late, like your departure's at 12:30 and you haven't boarded and you haven't boarded and you haven't boarded and nobody says anything, and people individually walk up to the counter and start talking to someone, and each one gets probably a different answer or something, and yet no overall announcement's been made. It's like, just say, hey, we're aware this is going on. We're not sure if it's an electrical problem or a mechanical problem or a staffing problem. We're working on figuring out what the delay is. We'll get back to you in another 15 minutes. And then in 15 minutes, you say, we're still working on it. We know you're waiting. Please come up to me if you are concerned about your connection, whatever. It's like, even if it's just, I don't know, and you're still on my radar, it's something, right? Yeah. It's something.
Because when you're describing that scene to me, if nobody is talking, I'm now envisioning the crowd is like lighting their torches and grabbing their pitchforks, and they're like, let's go get the monster.
Yeah, it's so true. Yeah, and they will fill in the blanks. They will create their own storyline, and then you are losing trust every second that's going on.
Travel, ain't it grand?
Yeah. Oh man, I can reflect back on an experience where we were putting on. This was back when I was at a performing arts organization, and we were putting a brand new Broadway show on sale that had huge popularity. So we had worked with our ticket provider to kind of make sure that I'm an IT guy in my background, so I was running that IT organization, and the tickets went online, and everything crashed. Like everything crashed because the demand was
Sounds
so
like
high.
DCA.
Yeah, no comments, but it was one of those that it was really, really painful, and it was my responsibility then to contact the board, contact our senior leaders, and say, "Here's what we're doing. Every 15 minutes, you're going to hear from me, so that you know that until we're back up online." And I'll tell you, every 15 minutes, they heard from me because that's the commitment,
Awesome.
especially in crisis. Crisis is a really good example of why those
Totally.
experiences really matter. Of, hey, be consistent, tell people what you're doing, follow through with, if it isn't going well, tell them why. Everybody's human. We all know that we need to hear that.
Let me ask you a question. When you think about kind of the leadership journey that you've had, what would you say is kind of the best piece of advice someone has ever given you? Or what advice would you give to a new leader, other than be consistent? What would you say is the best piece of advice someone gave you that you still live by today?
Latched on to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know that it was really for leadership in itself, but and it's super simple. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I love that one. And as a leadership, it's really about partnership. To me, in my opinion, that, my direct report, to who I'm doing my one-on-ones with or something, do they value my opinion and my perspective and ask for suggestions? I think that's huge. I've had leaders who have not done that. They've enjoyed their leader title and have barked out orders because, they know better than me, supposedly. But really, I've enjoyed the organizations and the people with whom I'm with when I'm valued as a human being and I'm valued as a part of that team and organization. So I really think if you're coming into the leadership, it's that combination of, listen and understand when you walk into that position, understand the folks with whom you're going to be with, the organization itself, its mission, its goal, and then understand the partnership and start working to create those trusting relationships to be successful. It's always say, surround yourself with those folks smarter than you. Heck yeah, I want smart people on my team to give me great ideas and who will push the 30-second dance button. That is super important.
All right, so that's your barrier for entry, huh? Okay,
yes.
So if I'm going to hire you, press this button. Let's see what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what you do. Or if I have it on my desk, if it's an in-person interview, if you're not curious what that button does, points deducted.
I love it.
I think I'm totally the human being that would have just been like, oops, I fell, and then press the button by accident.
Really? Oh, what's this? Or if you're like my husband, he's like, a button, what's that do?
Yeah, super curious. That's all well and good, unless you don't dance when the music starts.
Oh, and then you just sit there.
Then really points deducted. You should just leave. You should just go. Thank you for your time.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
so the last question we have for you, Rebecca, is what are you excited about? What's got you interested,
happy,
excited, inspired? What are you looking forward to?
Oh man, well, you guys are good. It's like you're married or something. What? I just met him. What am I? I will say I just left my organization and my position. I just left City or Denver because I think it's like the quiet, unsaid thing. I was burnt out. It's an organization that is near and dear to my heart. I had been with the organization twice, was 2015 to 2017 left, and then came back from 2021 till now. But those that are in the nonprofit world, and especially the development world, if you're listening to this now, you can probably understand and empathize that development is hard. And fundraising for private revenue is incredibly hard, especially in this day and age. Colorado, it's even harder. There's more nonprofits per capita in the state of Colorado. So we are all barking up the same wall. And I just needed a break. There was a lot going on at City Year. It's a fantastic organization, but like all nonprofits, trying to like see what works best. And I needed to step away. And it was the first time ever that I did what Mama said never do. Mama told me, don't leave a job if you don't got a job. And it's scary. But you know what? It was exciting when I said it out loud. Of course, first said it out loud to my hairdresser, because that's who you tell all your secrets to.
It's so true.
Husbands? Like, hello, spouses?
Nope. Hairdressers.
Okay, good to know.
It's just easy.
I was sitting I was complaining, and she said, what are you going to do? And out loud for the first time, I said, you know what? I think I'm going to resign and regroup and figure things out. And she goes, how do you feel you just said that? I go, that was amazing to say it out loud. She goes, great, I'm getting you a glass of wine.
I love this. And I also need her number.
That's right. And you were like, and here's your tip.
And here's your tip.
And here's your tip. Yeah. So I think I'm excited for what's coming up. And I've got it's scary. And I have the privilege to be able to step away for a little bit, not an extended amount of time. And I am grateful for that opportunity and privilege, and I'm aware of it. But I'm really trying to figure things out of like, what is next? What can I do? And that in itself is a little exciting.
I love that. I love that you're taking care of yourself. I think self-care is critical. I think people often forget that. I mean, yes, your mama's mantra is, I feel like everybody's mom and dad's mantra of don't leave a job without another job. And sometimes you just need to take care of yourself. Yep. And that may mean some tightening of the belt, some extra tightening, or if you're lucky enough not to have to worry too much about that, then maybe not that. No matter what it means, you are putting yourself first, which you can't help others if you can't help yourself and be in a good place there. So
as a mom, though, that's hard to put yourself first.
Yes,
exactly.
I'm also a mom. And, it was great, though, because I am, going through these struggles, and my children are listening, and my husband's listening to these gripings. And I said, I think I'm going to do what Mama said not to do. So I said, do as I say, not as I do. I'm going to do this, but don't you folks do this. But it was really heartening that my daughters were like, you know what? Like, I get it. And I see how you're tired and you're frustrated and you need to take a breather, Mom. And we got you. And, so amazing and heartwarming to hear. I'm going to tear up myself. And my two teenage daughters are aware and see my struggles, and that they grew up learning that they should take a breather and take care of themselves. And it was also, it helped me to come to that realization that I should step away for a little bit. So
I love that. And I can't think of a better example. I can't think of a better example that you've given to them and anyone else who will have an opportunity to watch and listen to this, that's a really important thing to do. It's a powerful way to lead yourself. So thank you so much for being with us, Rebecca. You're amazing. Your energy is so fantastic. I cannot wait to see what's on the horizon for you, indeed. Waiting for you after you've been refreshed and reset and renewed.
Doing this.
And pressing the
I am excited. It will be great. This came in at an amazing time. So thank you so much for the invitation. I'm truly thrilled to be here, here at my desk, but here with you online. Thank you.
That's right.
We're in our comedy club, so it's the same thing.
It's our stand-up comedy club.
You guys got a great set. I love it.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thank you, Rebecca.
Awesome,
we really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you both.
All right, we'll talk soon.